You need to be focusing on how consistently you are showing up on a daily basis. If you are consistently showing up, you are driving momentum for yourself. If you are driving momentum for yourself, you are consistently showing evidence to yourself that you can follow through on building strength, on progressing forward, on following through with the promises that you've kept to yourself. What's going on, everybody? Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I'm your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome, my friends, to episode number 287. And today's episode is probably going to be a little bit more of a reminder for you guys, or it'll be exactly what you all need to hear. Either or, I hope that this episode lands for you guys in a way that will help you navigate maybe this season that you were in. I know so many of you guys have kids going back to school, whether this is the first week or next week is the first week, or maybe they go back after Labor Day. And you guys are just trying to survive right now with this transition. And maybe you're putting yourself on the back burner. Maybe you're not getting your workouts done as often as you hoped you would, or your nutrition isn't as nailed in as you would hope it would be. And maybe what I want to make today's episode around is that scale. Maybe you are stepping on that scale. It's the first thing that you do when you wake up. And you are letting that scale dictate your mood. You are letting it dictate your confidence. You are letting it dictate whether or not you're allowed to feel good in your skin that day, amidst all of the chaotic things that you have going on right now. So I started this episode just knowing that I feel what you guys are going through with navigating this season of back to school and figure out your new routines. And I just want to remind you guys to give yourself a little bit of grace. And that if your workouts aren't 100%, if your nutrition isn't 100% right now, when you step on the scale, it's going to look different. But I want to remind you that obsessing over that number doesn't tell you the whole story. Because I've been there too. I've obsessed over that number. I've gone through chaotic seasons of my life too and stepped on the scale and been like, why is it up? And I let it dictate my mood, my confidence, whether I'm allowed to feel good in my body that day or not. And we've seen at WarriorBabe, I've seen, coaches have seen that coaches thousands of women is that freedom doesn't come from hitting a certain number, hitting a certain weight. It comes from shifting your entire mindset about what real progress looks like, and also about honoring and giving yourself grace for what season you are in. Let me remind you, my friends, 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not going to derail the progress that you've been at for the last 6 months, 8 months, 2 months, even 1 month. You got to stop looking at it in terms of timelines like that. And remember that you are on a journey that is the long game. If you guys can honor the fact that your journey is going to take you a year or a year plus, these little seasons in between are chaotic weeks. You're going to give yourself a lot of grace understanding the bigger picture of the journey that you were on. So 1, I just want y'all to give grace in the season that you're in right now. 2, I want to dive in to why obsessing over the scale is keeping you stuck, regardless of what season you're in, and reminding you guys what you're actually craving underneath of that number, and bringing you back to how to build a strength-focused mindset, mentally and physically, and how to measure progress in a way that makes you feel so powerful and so unstoppable. So for any of you guys that are hung up, maybe in the season that I just mentioned, or you're hung up by the number that you see on the scale, let this episode, and or if you're new to the journey and you're scale focused, or even if you're 6 months to a year in and you hear what I'm saying, but it yet hasn't fully landed for you in your journey yet. I just hope that these are reminders for you, no matter where you're at in your journey, to remember that the scale doesn't tell you it doesn't give you the whole picture. Okay. So I want to start with what I know to be true. For most women, the scale isn't just a tool. It is literally an emotional roller coaster. You wake up, you weigh yourself, and depending on what it says, You either feel proud or you feel ashamed. You feel motivated or you feel defeated. You are going to be on track for the rest of the day or you start spiraling mentally. And all of those spaces to be living in, that's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Because when your entire identity is wrapped up in a number, you stop seeing the bigger picture. And kind of tying it back to what I just said a couple of minutes ago, the bigger picture of the long-term game that you guys are signing up to play when you say, hey, I want to lose weight or I want to build more muscle. It is not just a 1 year thing that you sign up for. It is a long-term lifestyle approach that you are signing up for when you say you want that type of commitment, or you want that type of result to lose weight, but are you willing to put in that type of commitment? That could be a whole other freaking podcast. We've had women come into WarriorBabe looking stronger, looking leaner, looking happier, but they're crying on a check-in call because the scale went up 1.5 pounds. Here's the truth, my friends. I need to just make it land in your mind. The scale can't measure your strength. It can't measure your discipline. It can't measure your consistency, or it can't measure, like I said a couple seconds ago, the internal commitment, fire that you've built up until maybe this season that you're in. Let me just tie it back to that. The season that you're in with the kids going back to school. That scale can't measure the internal fire you've been on for the last couple of months. When you step on the scale, say this weekend or next weekend, it can't measure all of that work that you've put in. Yet the stress that you may be under with the kids going back to school right now, that scale might be going up a little bit, but that's not the whole picture. What I'm trying to get my point across is, and let alone that is also not you gaining fat. That's probably just stress, which stress correlates to water weight, and water weight is going to show up on the scale. It's just gravity. It's just you versus gravity to that number on the scale. It doesn't know your muscle mass. It doesn't know how much water you drank that day, how much stress you're under. It doesn't know how much sodium you had the night before. It doesn't know if you're on your period. It doesn't know these things. It's literally just you versus gravity. That's it. And yet most women give it so much more power than it deserves. So I want to get real here with you guys. When you say you want to weigh 135 pounds or 140 pounds or 145 pounds, what you really mean is, I want to feel confident. I want to feel in control. I want to feel proud of what I see in the mirror. The number is symbolic. It represents a version of yourself you believe will finally feel quote unquote enough. But I've seen women hit their goal weight and still feel insecure, still feel unhappy, still pick themselves apart, and still feel like it's not enough. Why? Because they are chasing a number instead of chasing a feeling, a state, an identity. You guys know that those are like the main pillars that I try. One of the main pillars, mindset, nutrition, strength training, then like hormones and all the other things. The mindset, why it comes first, this identity, this state where you are like, I've talked about in so many episodes before, this is like a bucket. Like you, instead of chasing a number, because so many of you guys do chase a number until like you literally have the confidence or literally have the wake up call, or literally have the light bulb go off that literally like that scale means zap, means nothing. Let me just like burn it, or let me just slide it in the closet because I know it doesn't serve a purpose and I'm aware enough to know how much it triggers me. So I'm not going to let it run the show. I'm going to learn how to be in control, and I'm going to start chasing a feeling. And I'll tell you guys this right now, you don't need a certain number to feel proud. So if you can get your mindset right, as I've talked about in so many episodes before, if you can learn identity-based like actions along your fitness journey, or these concepts that I share with you, if you can really let them sink in, you will know and understand, and these words will permeate through you when I say you don't need a certain number to feel proud. You need progress. You need strength. You need momentum. You need evidence that you're showing up for yourself consistently. That's then what confidence builds, not the scale, not the weight, but the work that you do. So if you focus on every single day progressing forward, going to do your workout, you're consistent with that. You focus on the non-scale victories. You focus on adding 5 or 10 pounds to the exercise that you're doing on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. You have the momentum of waking up and logging your food and eating the meals that you prep for yourself. That then compiles into evidence that gives you way more belief that you can believe yourself and trust yourself to continue taking these actions. But you doing that every single day, you create momentum. The second that you stop doing it, you dip back in the momentum and you dip back on the evidence. But these are the things that you should be focusing on rather than a freaking number on a scale. You need to be focusing on how consistently you are showing up on a daily basis. If you are consistently showing up, you are driving momentum for yourself. If you are driving momentum for yourself, you are consistently showing evidence to yourself that you can follow through on building strength, on progressing forward, on following through with the promises that you've kept to yourself, on tracking your macros, on going to the gym, on figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And if you do that consistently, that's what's going to build your confidence in this arena, not a number, not the scale, not you trying to chase. I want to be 135 pounds. I want to be 130 pounds. I want to be 140 pounds because that's just what my body feels good in. Not you chasing that, but you chasing the work. Ladies, are you feeling frustrated with body changes you're experiencing during menopause? It's time to take control. If you're between 45 and 65 years old and tired of struggling with body fat and muscle loss, WarriorBabe is here for you. At WarriorBabe, we've helped over 18,000 women just like you lose body fat, build toned muscle, and understand their bodies better with personalized plans based on hormone and thyroid testing and more. Imagine knowing exactly what your body needs to see real results and results that last. Look, don't wait anymore. Take charge of your health and join our community of strong, empowered women. Visit WarriorBabe.com/apply today to start your transformation. That's WarriorBabe.com/apply. All right, let's get back to the show. When you stop obsessing over the weight, like what happens? And you start focusing on strength, dude, everything changes. You go from this mentality of like, how small can I get? Which is the narrative so many of you women grew up following and chasing after. How small can I get? How skinny can I look? How small can I look like that person that's on the magazine? Can I look like these people that are in the marketing? How small can I get? Instead, when you stop obsessing over your weight and you start focusing on strength, you then go from that to how powerful can I feel? You go from I need to burn calories. I need to watch my Apple Watch and I need to, at the end of the workout, make sure that I burn this many calories. And I need to then go and do cardio because I need to close all of my rings to, I want to build muscle. Is this landing for you guys? Like when you stop obsessing over weight, you're no longer like, I need to burn calories. I need to burn calories. I need to close my rings. I need to go for a run. I need to X, Y, and Z. Instead you go, oh, I want to build muscle. Like I want to feel strong. And then you go from like, am I skinny yet? Do I look skinny? To like, did I crush that lift today? And the best part is when you start shifting to strength focused, your body starts changing. Isn't that crazy? When you're focusing on, think about the type of mentality that one has. It's almost like a lack mentality when they're trying to focus on a certain number and they're chasing how many calories they burn. It's like they just aren't enough yet. Yeah, sure, their body changes, but it's like, think about the state of mentality that person is in. Then think about when you start shifting to strength, and by the way, your body starts changing too, anyway, when you start focusing that way. But think about how more empowering it is. When you're focusing, oh man, did I crush that lift today? I feel so good. I want to build muscle. I want to build muscle because I want to feel strong. And how powerful can I really feel after I go lift this weight? How powerful can I feel when I say no to the things that don't serve the goals that I'm after right now? How powerful can I feel when I say no to going out and having multiple drinks with friends? Maybe we'll go out and have one, but how good does it feel when I set boundaries for myself? That right there should paint the different perspectives that two people could be walking side and side along their journey. But one person is focusing on that number, focusing on calories, focusing on, am I skinny yet? Letting the scale define her. That is a very troublesome, turmoil, lack mindset. And then the other one is walking along the same journey as her, focusing on building muscle, strength, longevity, being healthy, learning tools and strategies that are going to have her eat more and focus on being strong rather than skinny, and focusing on the feelings of being powerful with strength training. It's two different people walking the same path, but totally two different mentalities. When you focus on the strength mentality, the strength mindset, the way that one person's walking and moving, you look tighter, you look leaner, you look more athletic, you move better, and you hold yourself totally differently than the scale-oriented mindset and individual who will most likely, because I've been in this position before, and I'm sure many of you guys have, until you realized and had a wake-up call, you will look like a skinnier, fatter version of yourself. Like you'll just look kind of soft, flat. You'll look like the majority of the people that are trying to get on their fitness journey. You don't really stand out, like the standing out, the looking tighter, leaner, more athletic and strong and healthy and like toned. And, like people look at you in the gym, they're like, man, what are you doing? Right? So many of you guys have gotten that. I've heard that because I get DMs from you guys all the time. You're like, Nikki, thank you so much for this podcast and these episodes. Like, I'm going to the gym and I'm doing the strength training and really lifting. I'm like 6 months into it and I look different. I feel different. People are recognizing it. We just look different, and you move better because you move with confidence rather than this like doomsday effect because you have the scale looming over your mind. You know what I mean? Like your wins aren't scale based anymore. They're self-based. You start saying things like, man, I just feel so strong. I just hit a new PR. I'm lifting heavier than last week. Like, I'm not bloated anymore. I feel alive again. That's real progress. And now you're probably like, maybe the ones that are listening to me that are like, yeah, I'm still in that like doomsday scale mindset. And like, I feel you, Nikki. I feel every word that you're saying is really resonating with me. Like, I get it, but like, I understand that those of you that want to shift over to the other type of mindset, I get that isn't easy. But what I hope that if I call it out by what I say, that why do so many women stay stuck in this scale obsession? It's because it's what y'all known. It's what they've known for decades. We've been trained to believe that thin equals successful, that fat equals lazy, and that weight equals your worth. And let's be honest, the scale is easy to track. It's instant feedback, it's black and white. But if you lift heavier, if you take progress photos weekly, if you pay attention to your biofeedback, like that literally takes intention and patience. So I can understand why people stay in the scale obsession, because we literally live in a society where we want instant feedback. We want to be connected to Wi-Fi all of the time. We want, if thing doesn't load in 5 seconds, y'all closing all your apps, you're disconnecting Bluetooth and turning it back on, disconnecting Wi-Fi and turning it back on in hopes that it connects faster. I'm sorry, but lifting heavier and putting muscle on and building strength and the work that it takes intention, it takes patience when you're trying to live that type of lifestyle. So I get it. It's not instant feedback. But here's what I need you to hear. Simple doesn't mean better. Like, relying on the scale alone is like judging your entire financial health based on your bank balance. You could be broke, but have $5,000 in your account. You could be wealthy and you could be reinvesting every single penny. The number doesn't tell you the full story. And it's the same with your body. So what I want to help you with leaving this episode today is to redefine what success actually looks like. So think about it like this. These are 10 different ways that I want you guys to measure your progress rather than the scale. 1, how consistent are you with hitting your macros? 2, are you getting stronger week after week. Like y'all, if y'all are able to write these down, write these down. If you guys are driving, take mental note. If you're in the car, sitting passenger, listening to this, open up your notes on your phone, take these notes. And then instead of jumping on the scale every morning, maybe read 2 of these to yourself. And let your answer dictate where you need to show up better. Not letting the scale dictate where you need to show up better. So I'll repeat. Number 1, how consistent are you with hitting your macros? Number 2, are you getting stronger week after week? Number 3, do your clothes fit better? 4, are you sleeping better? Are you sleeping deeper? 5, are your cravings less intense? 6, are your energy levels more stable throughout the day? 7, are you less bloated? 8, is your cycle more regular? If you still get your cycle on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, Lord. 9, are you less reactive to stress? And 10, do you like the woman that you're becoming? Because that's the real glow up. When you focus shifts from shrinking to becoming, and that's where it kind of goes back to you're shifting your focus from the lack to the strength. Because I'll tell you this, I'll tell you guys who you can become when you stop obsessing over the number on the scale, because I've seen it happen to so many women inside of WarriorBabe. I've seen it happen personally to myself. You become a woman who trains to get stronger, not just to get smaller. You focus on strength. You focus on like not looking skinnier. You focus on looking sexier with muscle, because muscle is like, whenever I see a woman that has muscle, I'm like, damn, like she put in the work. Like she's dedicated, she's disciplined, she's determined. Like it just gives you a different statute, like a statute. Like you look at someone differently when they look fit. They know they're healthy. They know they care about their health. And that goes, it's like, it's so much more than just words when you look at someone's body that's strong. And that's the type of woman that you can become. You train to get stronger, not smaller. The woman that you're becoming, when you stop obsessing over the number on the scale, she fuels her body instead of punishing it. That's back to like the lack mindset of like burning calories. And you're like, it's like you're lacking and you're punishing yourself for not being enough. Instead, the person that you're becoming, when you stop obsessing over that stuff, it's like you're fueling your body. You know that nutrition is so important for the type of results that you're looking to gain. Like you want more calories because you know that fuels your muscle growth. Also, tracking your progress like a pro. Like you're tracking your progress with your photos, you're tracking your progress with your PRs, you're tracking your progress with your biofeedback. And when you stop obsessing with their scale, you feel confident in your clothes. You feel confident. You're on your own timeline. Like you feel confident in your skin. Like you're not obsessing over, I need to accomplish X, Y, and Z goal in X amount of time. Like you're confident with how you're presenting yourself and who you are. And literally, guys, you can walk into a room and you don't care what the scale says. Like you can walk, it's like that type of energy. Like you walk into a room and you're somebody that's like, I don't care what the scale says. Like I'm just showing up because like my energy speaks louder than a number ever could. It's like you walk into like the weight room and you're like, someone walks up to you and you're like, damn, how much do you weigh? I'm like, if someone did that to me right now, I'd be like, I have no idea. I'm like around 145, give or take. I have no idea. I can't remember the last time I weighed myself, because I'm walking into a room because I'm literally everything that I'm saying here in this episode. Like I was this, but I am this now. And I know that a lot of you guys can resonate with that, or are you inspired to get to that point? My energy just speaks louder than 145 pounds ever could. It's like, no, like this is what I just said a couple minutes ago. It's like words can speak louder for me right now for the way that my body looks, because I focus on this, not this. That's the version 2 of you that lasts. This version, the one that you're becoming. The version of you that doesn't like fall off every time the scale moves. I mean, think about that. How many times have you guys allowed the scale to dictate how you feel? And then it's like you're either, if you're happy with the result, what the scale tells you, then you're on track that day. If you're not happy, then you spiral and you fall off track. Like the version of you that you're becoming, the one that's not obsessed with the scale, doesn't fall off every time the scale moves. Because I've seen that number fluctuate from myself back up to 150, even sometimes 153. I'm like, damn, I gained 7 pounds. I know it's not fat, but I gained it somewhere. I know it's not all muscle because that would be a lot of muscle. And it could be in a short period of time. But I'm like, all right. I just got to get back to the consistent habits that I have of eating. I need to eat better. It's like that self-awareness y'all got to get to. Truly. If you guys can have the self-awareness along your journey, man, it is an absolute game changer. Because you'd be able to be like, I understand why it's going up because I've just been having a couple drinks more than I should lately, or I'm not really tracking my macros consistently. That's why those questions that I gave you, that's measuring real progress. And then going into those 10 questions I gave you have to have self-awareness to be able to answer them honestly without any type of, it's more, you got to be objective with yourself. You got to take out the feelings and just show up objectively when you answer those questions. Because if you can do that, you'll get on the right track if things are off. And then with that, like the person you're becoming, you're rooted in truth. You are rooted in truth. You're rooted in strength. And you know that with all of the work that you're doing, it's all earned. Like you're not guessing. If you can do all the things that I just said, self-awareness, answering those questions right, not being obsessed with the scale, this is a person that you are becoming. Okay? So for anybody that needs to hear that, if you're obsessing over the scale still, I hope that landed. If you're like, maybe, a couple months into your journey and you know what I'm saying and you just need to get back to that again, I hope that this landed for you. Or if you're like 5 years in, you're like, the scale ain't nothing to me. I am where you are, Nikki. I'm feeling everything you're saying, who you want to become. Then good. I'm glad that you can at least understand where many people have been. And I just ask if that is you. And this episode was like, it was a reminder and it was good. It was like a pep talk and like, but you don't obsess over the scale. Help somebody else that that is still obsessing over the scale, or that comes into your space maybe in like the next week or months that is obsessing on the scale. Help them not be obsessed with the scale. Send them this episode. Okay. That's all I ask. I'll ask one more ask. If this resonated with you, please screenshot the episode, share it to Instagram, tag me at Nikkiey Stott, tag the macro hour, and just let me know if it resonated with y'all. All right. Appreciate you guys. More importantly, like getting this podcast out to people, spreading the word, sharing it with women that need to hear it. The more that you guys can do that, I'm only one person, but the more you guys can share it and spread it, that's how it gets to more and more and more women. And that's how we together collectively as a team can impact so many people. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. Hey, really quick, before you go, I have one small favor to ask. If this episode brought you value or sparked something in you, take just a moment to hit that review button. Your rating and review make all of the difference, helping more women discover the tools they need to transform the fitness and their confidence. It takes less than a minute, but it can change the path of someone else's journey. Thank you so much for leaving that review. I appreciate you so much.